Get started. All right, welcome Karen. We're just going to get you to start your video. I'll give you a little prompt so that we can see your lovely face. And it looks like you're on mute as well. So how are you, everyone? It looks like I'm getting messages. Someone might not be able to log in, maybe. Okay, we've had a couple of apologies tonight, so I won't list them all. I've been getting the messages through the Spiritual Circle, which I know you're all connected to, so you can see that as well. I'll just let Larissa know, starting now. Okay, she may be a little bit late. So, hey, Karen, are you having trouble? You should get a little prompt just to start your video, but I'm sure you'll work it out if not. So, how are you? I'll start with you, Nicola. How are you? How's it been?
No, all good.
We
All
last
good.
connected. It's been a while, hasn't
it? Yes. Yeah, just busy at work this weekend because it's year end. So
Oh, yes, and being
yes.
in finance, I would
Yeah.
imagine
So.
you're looking for something different to explore tonight. I've got a nice little guided meditation plan, so I think it'll be a fun and enjoyable session
Oh,
for you.
good.
Well, I know it will be. I've worked hard
Yeah.
on preparing, a fun evening for you
Yeah.
guys. So, welcome back. We did miss you. I know what it's like when you have family that needs your attention and lots of things going on for people at the moment. And yeah, certainly not alone in some of the stress we've all been feeling on some of the
Yeah.
other groups. A lot of the light workers are really going through shifts and changes energetically. And I think just as a whole, it's been,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's been
my busy time of the year. June, July, August is
yep,
my 3 months in the year where everything happens. It's
yeah.
just yeah, it's just yeah.
Well,
I should be used to it by now. But
Well, let tonight be about you receiving the
yeah,
Nicholas so that you
yeah.
can just totally be in, be loved up. So we're all here. We're all going to run some beautiful energy and send it your way tonight. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for being here. Because I would imagine, I was just saying to Gerald, I was thinking back to the time when we all used to have to get out of our homes and get dressed up and, head out to the venue and drive out in the rain. And I said, oh, it's actually quite interesting that we can log on from home where it's nice and warm and comfortable. It certainly is more convenient, but yeah, I was curious as to whether you miss the in-person contact. What do you
I
think?
do. I do actually. But it's still, I mean, it's still lovely to do this. But as you were
Mm,
saying, you said a couple of weeks ago, you said it's the hugs.
yeah,
You lose
yeah,
you can see everybody and talk, and it's great.
yeah.
But you miss the sort of personal having a cup of tea and,
Nice big hugs.
Vicky,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I do too. That's what I look forward to, the live channeling events, because they're still in
mm,
person. So we can all
yeah,
come together and connect and pop it on your calendar so you don't miss it.
that's it. Yeah.
Um, Beautiful. Well, welcome back. Fiona,
Thank
how are you tonight? I know you've been working hard too.
Yes, I'm very good. Yes, I did work today. So it was, I just raced in the door, quickly got changed, and then here I am. So
Nice.
no time to even think about dinner. So I'll leave that till later. But yes,
Uh,
all good. I actually I came into my healing room yesterday for the first time for a long time. Because
oh,
lots of things been going on. I've been away a lot, and just haven't seemed to, find the time, which I know is not really a very good excuse, but but I
no,
came
no.
in here yesterday and I went, oh, I've just missed being in here so much. So, but sometimes I think, you're not supposed to be in here because you're off thinking about other things and it's not the right
Mm,
time. So, I don't put pressure on myself. Oh, I should be in my room doing my thing. I should be doing that. But, I don't put pressure on myself. It happens when it happens. So, and
I
I've
think
been
it's
busy.
sometimes a variety, isn't it, that actually allows you to really savor the moment. Sometimes when you're in it all the time, like I am, it's kind of like I savor getting out of the room, getting out of my healing room. I'm like, oh, we're going to a sound healing session and I'm looking forward to that. I think that's
Oh,
next
yes.
week, is it?
This
Um,
Friday.
oh, this
This Friday.
Friday. Yes. So looking forward to that and just,
Mm,
yeah, the opportunity to connect and
yeah,
um, experience something different and not be in the teacher mode. So as much as I love teaching,
absolutely.
it's nice to be in the learning state as well. So
And nurturing ourselves.
yes, very important. Very, very
Letting
important.
someone else nurture us for a change.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. So welcome, Fiona, and
Thank
thanks for
you.
your support. Fiona's going to be there in the background helping with the technical side of things tonight to keep it all running smoothly. And lovely Suzanne, welcome back. Nice to see you
Hello,
too.
lovely to see you as well.
How have you been?
Like everyone else, busy. It's yeah, crazy time
Crazy
of year.
time. Yeah.
Crazy time of year for me as well. But I'm good, thank you. Yeah, really happy to be here tonight. I
Hmm.
haven't always been able to come to everything, so it's lovely to be able to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. And we love having you here too. And
Thank you.
Karen, how are you going, Karen?
Yeah, I'm good today. Thanks, Lisa. I was really bad yesterday, but I'm good today.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Mm.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm just glad that I'm feeling good today. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, no
Mm,
problems at all. All
mm.
right, let's just flick over and we'll get started. I think Fiona, if others join in, we might have a few people coming in late, but that's okay. Better late than never. We're recording it, so a lot of people watch the replay if they can't make it to the session. So this is a training component. So I don't know if you guys remember, I will show you this very dodgy wheel now because it's been hanging up on my wall, but I can't see myself. I can just see you lovely ladies. Hang on a minute. Oh, there I am. So, do you remember this wheel? Do you guys remember when I very first opened up the spiritual circle? So, this is essentially 12 months that we're working around the wheel, the spiritual wheel, so that there's different topics that you're learning. And we're in the channeling component, which is why it's been a lot about intuition and channeling over the last 3 months because we're moving into channeling and soon we'll be moving into connection and community. So, tonight's session is if I find my screen share. Okay, when I move things around, I lose it. Where's it hiding? Share. Oh, it's a big green button right in the middle. Okay, so let's play. All right, so tonight's session, can you see the screen?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, empowering your intuition, overcoming self-doubt, and trusting your inner wisdom. So we'll just stop and say hi to Renee. I think she's just jumping in. So tonight's session is all about making new friends, as always. So for those of you that haven't seen each other for a while, it's nice to just kind of connect, see how everyone's been, and yeah, remember to reach out to each other during the month. You don't just have to connect in this session. So I really wanted, and one of the things I really love about my business is that we've created a community of like-minded people, and the support and the friendships that often form in these events and workshops is something that fills my heart. So don't forget to reach out. Hi, Renee. Lovely to have you in here. We've just gotten started. Nice to see your beautiful face again. It's been a while.
It has. Hello.
It is. We're focusing on the channeling tonight, channeling training session. We were just reflecting on the spiritual wheel, so all the different aspects of healing and intuition that we're going through over the 12 months. So if you haven't been able to join live, hopefully you schedule time in your calendar to catch up on the replay. If you don't make time, what I've heard happen is that people get overwhelmed because there's so much content to catch up on. They don't actually go back and watch anything. So it's easier if you just schedule an hour and a half where you can watch the replay. And it's usually a little bit less when you're not here live because we do group chats and things like that. So just what's happening this month, we have Learn to Channel course. Our next course starts again on the 18th of July. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to channel, then this is your opportunity to jump in. Ask me any questions at the end if you would like to know more. We also have a live reading session scheduled for Tuesday, the 23rd of July at 6:30. So for those of you that said you want hugs, Nicola, make sure you write this date down
I have written
on
it
your
down already.
calendar. Hey,
I've written it down already.
awesome. Pop it on your calendar and we'll see you in person. So that's held at Creek, Canning River Eco Education Centre in Wilson. And there is a Reiki affiliate program coming soon. So once you join the program, you'll start getting paid for your referrals. So if you know someone who wants to learn Reiki online, then we can set you up as a partner, a referring partner, and you'll get paid a fee for your referral, which is pretty cool. So more information about that coming very soon. So review of last month. Hands up if you were here last month. Nicola, Fiona. So just a quick brief overview. We talked about developing your intuition, overcoming limiting beliefs. We defined what the intuition is. We looked at all the different clair senses, clairvoyance, clairaudience. I can't remember the other 5, but we looked at them all. We did a quick automatic writing exercise, and we talked about meditation and mindfulness and how to basically start to get into an open state to be able to receive guidance and wisdom. So anyone got any feedback? Did you enjoy the session? Do any practice from what you learnt?
Yes, I enjoyed it. It was nice. It's a good session. I enjoyed the automatic writing. I have tried it before, but after doing it during there, it actually worked a lot better.
Yeah, when you've just got the group energy.
Yes, I think it was the energy in the group that, because I've tried it before and nothing's happened.
Yeah.
But it definitely worked when I, tried it with that. So it was nice.
Yeah, I find sometimes that it's nice to carve out this time to be able to fully engage in the practices. And I know that when you're live, we're all watching if you're not kind of connecting and doing the meditation, and it really does allow you to focus. Whereas I know from my own, when I'm learning online, but it's like I'm watching a replay. I tend to run around doing the dishes and watch it on the computer and do also, I'm never really just fully 100% present, which is why I think it's so important if you can, guys, show up live. And I do understand that we all have our things that get in the way. So thank you for being here tonight and joining us. And also we get to see your lovely faces because we miss you. Okay, so welcome. We've already done that. Brief overview of the session. So we're going to be talking about how to use your intuition to make great decisions in life. So hands up if you'd like to be more decisive and get it more right than wrong. Just me.
All of us.
Certainly. And I'm going to share a little story, or ask you guys if you've got a story that you can share about a time when you either listened to your intuition and it paid off, or when you didn't listen to your intuition and you kind of got a lesson. So tonight's agenda, we're going to be understanding the basics of intuition. We're going to be checking in with your head, your heart, and your gut brain. Did you know we have 3 brains, guys?
I knew we had
Heard of that concept?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to check in with all 3 of them when we're making decisions. We're going to be doing automatic writing again, Nicola, so you'll get to have another experience of it tonight. And we're also going to be doing a guided meditation to ask your higher self for guidance. And I'm going to be sharing how you can get further support. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. Who can give me a definition just off the top of their mind? How would you describe intuition? And I'm throwing it out there. Don't worry if you're... No, right.
Go on chat, Lisa.
Sorry?
Do we go on chat?
No, just share verbally. Go for it, Karen. How would you describe intuition?
A knowing in your body. A knowing?
Yeah, a knowing. Definitely. That's how I describe it too. Yeah, knowing in your body. Anyone else?
I'd say knowing beyond any logical or just mind-based knowledge. It's a knowing beyond that. And I think you're right, you do feel it in your body.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like you get the goosebumps, you can feel that, or your stomach does a bit of a flip, or you
the little
just
hairs on your
shiver,
arms stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about a subtle whisper? You know, sometimes it's that just that inner kind of quiet whisper that we know when we get quiet, we're more able to hear that soft, subtle frequency. Anyone get guidance or intuition when they're doing Reiki? I know I certainly do. There's just something about the energy of Reiki that just allows me to get into that, you know, into the presence. It allows me to really become focused on the here and now, which to me is a path to connect to my intuition. So while logic and analysis are valuable, our intuition connects us to a deeper, wiser part of ourselves, often wiser part of ourselves, which I think is what I love about intuition so much. I like to be wise. I like to think that I'm actually clever and wise. But you know, I've come to learn the fact that I'm very human. So as much as I, you know, as I work on it, it to me is always, you know, intuition and trusting intuition hasn't always come easily for me. So I'm kind of one that would second guess myself, go out and ask a few different people their opinions and use that as a way of weighing up what feels right. And I know with my mum when I was younger, I would ask her opinion, but then I'd argue with her because I actually knew what was right for me, but would need to voice it and verbalize it in order to kind of hear myself. So as you know, I'm a speaker and I process more verbally because I'm a talker than I do through thinking things or just feeling things. So that's certainly how my experience has been. Has anyone got a story that they would like to share where where they've had to make a decision and they've either trusted their intuition or where they didn't?
I do have one from recently
Oh,
where
good.
where my son hurt himself at a football game, and I knew straight away that it was reason not right. I knew something within inside of me wasn't right, but I listened to the people around me saying it'll be fine, it'll be okay, it's all right, it's not like he can do this, he can do that, I'm sure it's okay, you're overreacting. And I'm like, nah, something's not right. And I didn't trust myself at that point in time. And I even stopped sort of going away that night for a couple of hours because I'm like, no, I feel like I need to take him to get checked. Anyway, I was told it was, you know, sort of it's all good by his like dad. And then I never felt right for those 2 or 3 days. I was flat, I was off, I was just feeling yucky. And then
Was he with his dad,
no,
not with you?
he was with his dad. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So even though you were apart and separated, you still just had something wasn't right, just a gut feeling something wasn't right. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And then on the Tuesday night when I spoke to him and he said, oh, it's I'm like, how's it going? He's like, it's still as sore as it was on Saturday. I'm like, I freaking knew it. And then when I went and took him the next day for a scan, he had a broken collarbone. So but he was doing things like, you know, laying on the couch like this. So then you think, oh, it's okay. But it's not, you know, it wasn't you couldn't physically see it, but I knew straight away, like the minute it happened. And then as soon as I got it sorted, you know, I felt different within myself as well. So sometimes when I do, definitely feel off, not just in that scenario, I'm like, what am I not listening to here? Because there's something.
That's so powerful, Renee. It's such a powerful story. When you think back to that time, would you say what part of your intuition do you think was firing off? Was it more that gut feeling? How did it communicate to you where you said you felt off? So to me, it's more that just a quiet inner knowing.
Yeah, generally, I felt it first in it's generally my gut tells me. But then because I was never, sometimes I do get guidance, but it was quite difficult in that respect because I'm like, am I just being an overreactive mother? Am I just not being, you know, all of that you give? But in the way of feeling off, I just felt sort of probably slightly just flat, like not as excited.
And then when you find out, you know, when you get that, because we don't often know, do we? And I think our culture teaches us to second guess ourselves. Like, you know, we haven't really, it hasn't been, you know, our logic has been given, our rational mind's been given a lot of kudos, I guess, and our intuition not so much. You know, a lot of people don't really know or understand how to access that inner wisdom, and also to, you know, to really be able to act on it. You know, I think as a culture, we've that's kind of been, I think, conditioned out of us when we were in primary school. And tell me if you guys think otherwise, but you know, it was always, we had to learn how to sit on our feelings and emotions, and quite often we're put in situations that weren't comfortable, and we didn't get to choose what we wanted to do. You know, we were kind of led into experiences and had to just follow along, right? And, you know, make sure we didn't step out of line, else we'd get in trouble. So I do think the schooling system has kind of eroded our confidence with trusting our intuition, but also our society. You know, and even to think that people, you know, still see it as weird and woo-woo, this spirituality. And yet I just think it's an innate part of our human ability, and it's weird not to use it, you know. And you look at that as a perfect example, Renee, that, you know, that it's the same with a dog. Whenever I just get this, you know, when the house goes super quiet, and there's nothing that has led you to know this, but you know beyond reason, you know, normal rational mind, that I'm just going to check what Jesper's doing. And, you know, he'll be running around with a bloody knife hanging out of his mouth or something naughty. You know, he's just totally running around and being a loony. And what is it that alerts you to that fact that something's going on that needs your attention? And I think with kids, when they were younger, you know, we talk about women's intuition or mother's intuition, and that's always, you know, I think as mothers, we naturally had that tendency to know when something wasn't up, or even if our child was lying to us. You know, the more psychic and aware we are, the more they can't get shit through us. You know, we just feel it, we know it, and we're like, you do forget that I'm psychic, you know, like, yeah. So I wanted to just give you guys some tools today to help you to really learn more about trusting your intuition, and how we can, you know, make it easy to recognize when, you know, when we're getting guidance around something that's going to work for us, rather than against us. So we're going to explore a few different things to do that. So if anyone's at a similar crossroad, or if you've facing a decision that might be a little daunting, I certainly am at the moment. Is there anyone else here that is looking at making changes in their life and could benefit from getting an intuitive hit tonight? Yeah.
Always, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, there's always something coming up, isn't there,
Yeah.
Karen? And Fiona, I can see you put your hand up as well. All right, so we're going to dive into some practical exercises and techniques to help you to connect with your intuition. I know many of you do that regularly, and you've done my Learn to Channel courses as well, but it never hurts to just touch back on the basics. So some of this might be basic for some of you, but it's always good to just connect back in. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with understanding how to check in with your head, your heart, and your gut brain. Then we're going to explore automatic writing, like I said before. And by the end of the session, you'll have some powerful tools to help you make decisions with greater ease and confidence. So you ready to get started?
Got the pen and paper.
You got the pen and paper. That was the very next thing I was going to suggest, is that you're running.
I was intuitive.
Well, you're on it. So make sure, I think I've even got a PowerPoint here. So head, heart, and gut brain. We're going to teach you, so head represents your logical thoughts. So grab a pen and paper if you haven't already. So the head brain, we all know about the head brain. You know, everyone knows we've got a brain. And it's, you know, it's logic, it's reason. It's very important. So I know some people that are spiritual tend to really want to follow the heart and stop listening. I can't find a blank page in my book. You know, we talk about following the heart and not always listening to the head. Why do you think that might be, guys? Why do you think there's a real push towards follow your heart in the spiritual community? Anyone?
Well, I just think the follow your heart is it's a feeling you get because you feel like your heart is the most important thing. Well, for me it is.
Yeah.
If something feels, if I'm trying to think of something logically or rationally,
Mm-hmm.
but my heart's not feeling it, then I tend to override with my heart feeling. I tend to override my logic,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
definitely, I
weird.
do.
It's
So I think a lot of our culture, we tend to minimize our emotions. Okay, and tell me if you agree or disagree. Where
okay.
a lot of us apologize for feeling too much as women. So even in the business and the workplace, it's like, oh, you're so emotional, like it's a bad thing. So we squash our emotions, or we don't like feeling negative emotion. We don't like being angry. We're not, we're not supposed to be. That's not the nice way to be. So quite often our emotions get suppressed. Okay, and if we look in terms of men, like a lot of men are, it's like, oh, suck it up, mate. Like men don't cry, which they do, but it's our culture that has driven us to suppress our emotions. And for those of you that have followed me for a while now, you will know that your emotions are your intuitive guidance system. It's what connects you into knowing whether you're in alignment with source or not. So emotions are very, very important. Mind has been very dominant, for most of us. We look at, university or going to school. It was all logic that we were driven to, facts and logic and thoughts and understanding, and learning really is a lot with our analytical mind, is how we learn, absorb information. Still very important. Okay, the mind can also, so in spirituality we talk about the mind being referred to as the ego or the personality self. It's the part of us that has been created based on all of our life experiences. Would you agree? And the mind tends to be fear-based in that it's driven by, I don't know, there's another name for it, but I call it the reptilian brain. It's like that very archaic brain that is there for survival. It's basically, it will naturally produce the most fearful thought first to make sure it tries to keep us safe. So if we're going to make a big change, it always comes up with all the possible reasons why you could get hurt if you make this change. So it tends to be naturally fear-based. But what I found is the initial impulse that comes from the mind is usually the best one, and then it's the second guessing, the analyzing, overanalyzing. If you're an overthinker like I am, it's like, oh my God, I get sick of the sound of my own thoughts chewing over. We call it in hypnotherapy over enumerating. We're like a cow. We just keep chewing over stuff over and over, regurgitating the information and not quite getting anywhere, or like being a mouse spinning on a wheel, where we just start to get, weighing up all the pros and the cons, and then there's more pros and more cons, and then we get confused. That's usually when we start to go outside to our network, where we go, what do you think, Fiona? What do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? Or some people internalize it a lot and they don't, so we're all different. Some will seek outside advice. Others will, give themselves time to think it over and kind of chew these things through. Gut is your more instinctive reaction. So if you were to meet somebody, for instance, that appeared, let's just say you're dating, and this guy's looking gorgeous, saying all the right things, but something just feels off, but it doesn't make sense logically because he's saying all the right things. He sounds like Mr. Perfect. He's looking good. He's ticking all the boxes in terms of the logic, but yet there's something that just, I can't put a finger on it, but I don't trust this. Something doesn't feel right. We get that gut knowing that and usually if we push through into that relationship, it's just a little bit of time before our fears are, they present, eventually they present with what you intuitively or instinct, that instinct to react. Anyone got any other kind of descriptions that they'd like to share from the head, heart, gut, from your own experiences? Pretty much covers it. All right, so we're going to do a step-by-step exercise. So what I want you to do is I want you to write on a bit of a piece of paper a decision that you're making. So something that you need to decide. So I'll give yourself a few moments just to think about something you're deciding on. Okay. Hi, Myra. How are you going? We're just getting started with the exercise, so your timing's perfect.
Thank you.
What I've just asked the guys to do is grab a notebook and a pen, and I want you to write a decision that you are making in your life, whether it be something small or something larger. Just have a think about a decision that you are making in your life. And just let me know when you've got that done. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You got it all? Everyone's ready? Okay, so each of these brains, the head, the heart, and the gut, has a unique way of processing information and guiding us. So our head or our logical brain analyzes and evaluates options. Okay, important when you're making a decision. Our heart or emotional brain tells us how we feel about a decision, which is important. And our gut or our instinctive brain gives us that deep-seated sense of knowing. When we listen to all three, we can make more balanced and fulfilling decisions. All right, so in this exercise, think of the decision you're currently facing. It could be small or big. All right, I want you to close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath in. And I just want you to consider the logical aspects of your decision. What are the pros and cons? And this is something you can do in a lot more detail. We're going to just give you the brief exercise today. So even if you just come up with 2 or 3 pros and cons, and just open your eyes and write them down. So see if you can come up with 3 pros and 3 cons. And just see if there's any facts or information. Is there any more facts or information that you need? And just write down any other logical thoughts and evaluations. So anything that comes up. All right, so you're still writing, looks like it. Okay, just look up when you've finished. All right, remember you can go back in and further tune into these areas, okay, especially if it's a bigger decision. So next what I want you to do is I want you to connect in with your heart. So literally put your hand on your heart and I want you to take a few deep breaths. And I want you to tune into your emotional response. So I want you to think about making this decision. How do you feel? Are there any emotions that might be coming up for you, like joy or fear, excitement, anxiety? Write down your feelings and your emotional reactions to making that decision. And it's easier just to choose either a yes or no and start to feel into how you feel if it's a yes how you feel if it's a no. Okay. Wow, it's quite interesting for me. Some of those things surprise me. Anyone else?
Mm.
Clearly haven't taken much time to go within with this decision. Listen too much to that bloody logic of mine. While the others are writing, is there anyone that wants to share any insights or perspectives that you've gotten so far?
Yeah, it's made me realize how little I actually, how little time I actually spend sitting down and really tuning in. And yeah, I think I procrastinate in a lot of those things, and you don't spend the time
to just get clear guidance from within. Yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that, Suzanne. We live in a world that makes it very easy for us to be rushed and hurried and busy, right? It's what our whole society is, you know, pretty much centered around hustle. All right, so the next one, is everyone finished or are you still writing? Looks like Renee is still writing. You're good. Okay, the next one, just focus on your gut. Take a few more deep breaths and just tune in on that instinctive gut level response. So when you think about saying yes to the decision, what's your immediate gut reaction? And if you're weighing up two different choices, then you can weigh up choice A or choice B. Does it feel right or wrong deep down inside? So write down your gut feelings and instincts. Does it feel right or wrong? Okay, and just take a moment now to review what you've written. And I want you to notice any patterns or any particular conflicts between your head, your heart, and your gut. Yeah, wow. Anyone want to share their discoveries? Anyone get like a total all lined up yes in all three? I did. I got a yes in all three. Myra, you did. Anyone else get like a straight yes, 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 head, heart, gut? Nicola, yeah.
But it's interesting how logical the head is and how the heart, and then going right to the gut, it just got better and better the further down.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I had the same experience, which surprises me, right? Because I overanalyze and get stuck in the head.
Yeah.
Where I come up with all the negativity, and yet when I've done this exercise, it's all really positive, which surprises me, right? Because I've been over enumerating over all the potential risks, right? Does anyone want to share what they were deciding or just want to discuss it with each other? You don't have to. Anyone that's got, a decision they want to share?
I'm happy to share.
Oh, thanks, Mara. That'd be awesome.
So my decision was 4 years ago, I made a decision to step into part-time work and try and build my spiritual coaching business.
Yeah.
And I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and really not found the traction that I wanted. So my decision has been to step back into full-time work.
Wow. Yeah,
And,
great.
you know, my head's going, yep, it's more money, more experience, use time better, the con, less work-life balance. How on earth do you get to appointments when you have to work every day of the week?
Yes. Yeah.
But then my heart's going, less stress,
Yep.
more money. You know, and I enjoy the structure. And my gut's going, it's divine timing. You are exactly where you need to be right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, well done. Thank you. It's nice to get that clarity, Myra, isn't it? And to know that as light workers, we can influence anywhere. Just because we have part-time work doesn't mean we don't use the tools that we have. We just get paid from a different source other than individual clients, but we can certainly make a difference in all different facets of our life and our work in terms of our spiritual. And I think we forget that sometimes as light workers. We think we have to be paid professionals, you know, or healers or readers or psychic mediums in order to have an impact, but we don't. So that's cool. Whoops. Yeah, thank you. How do you feel getting that clarity?
The gut one surprised me. You know, you're exactly where you need to be, because this is only my second week of, you know, third week of working full time. And, you know, I am missing my Fridays so desperately.
Yep. So you have gone back. So you've already made the decision.
I have made the decision, and the opportunity opened up at my work to just take on extra duties. And it's absolutely the right time. I'm still going to chip away at my spiritual coaching because that is my purpose. But I can do it as an introvert rather than a hustler.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And the one thing I wanted to share, which is just a beautiful segue into this, is make a decision, guys. Don't backtrack on your decision. When you make a decision, line up. And then what we do is we bring that power in the universe into the alignment. It's a bit like, you know, deciding to have a Kelpie. Is it always perfect? No. But for the most part, when you know you've made the decision, you've just got to line up to it. And when we do that, rather than second guessing and you know, creating that doubt, you know, make the decision and then back yourself on it. Does that make sense? Which I think is quite important, because we do tend to go, oh, and later down the track, you can always make another choice if you really do feel like it's now. I often think sometimes decisions are, this is right for right now. And if that changes down the track, then, you know, then it changes and we make a different decision. But the thing that I find chews up the most energy with people, and with a lot of people I've coached or worked with, is the indecision, is sitting in indecision and knowing that we're not living in alignment, meaning we're not happy. And I'm speaking from personal experiences as well. Sometimes I drag my feet when I just feel resistance to change, right? And when really there is no right or wrong choice, there's just our choice. And when we look at these different three aspects, we're going to get closer to what is in our highest good, because we're using all of our systems in order to make the choice that's right for us. And I know in terms of, you know, with running my own business, if I talk to a friend that loves being a stay-at-home mum, her perspective will always be filtered through her life experience, and she would hate to work full-time or hate to run her own business. And so they're going to filter their advice based on their needs. So if we can have a tool that really allows us to connect within, it makes decision-making so much easier. So great. Love it, Myra. And I love that you've got clarity, and you know that it's just even retrospectively really knowing you made the right choice.
Yes.
Which can be really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share?
Mine's actually a bit boring, but it's still something that I've been procrastinating on for a couple of weeks and really avoiding. I need to decide. I have to remortgage the house, so I need to decide whether to go fixed or variable, which is quite a difficult decision at the moment because there's no real pattern on what's happening or what's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And I don't like being, I've been really lucky with the decisions I've made in the past, and I don't want to feel like I've been like ripped off if the rates do go down if I fix it in. But I've just gone through all of that, and for me, yeah, fixing it in for 2 years, like the different feelings that I got was a lot more positive, and I felt a sense of comfort and grounding, and just as it will help me know how much I actually need to pay off each month rather than living in fear of a rate rise, and just be okay with it. And
yep. It takes that lack of ambiguity away, which I think creates a lot of the stress, just the not knowing. So now you know it's fixed, you know what your mortgage is going to be each month. And even if there are a couple of, perhaps changes, there is that honoring the decision you made right now. And it kind of does go in waves. We've been the same, where we've won, where we've fixed it at a really low rate and watched it go up and up and up, and just really, kind of felt, that's awesome, we made the right choice then. And I think it's just it's great to have that sense of security, especially with things changing the way they are. So good to know you got that clarity.
That's awesome. Now I can face the email that I've been trying to face for 3 weeks.
And just make the decision.
And
then it's just backing yourself. It's the best choice for right now, with all the information that you've weighed up by the and this is why I love tuning into both the logic, because the logic does the research. Sometimes we can't make a decision because we don't have all the information. So when we get the information, it becomes clearer. Sometimes our emotions aren't clear, so we just need to sleep on it. We might just need a few more days to really know. I've found that if we sleep on it, if we're highly emotional and that negative emotion dies down, we get clarity as well, especially when it's dealing with the relationships or decisions with things that aren't always easy to make. Coming back into these 3 questions makes a big difference. All right, so now we've done that little exercise, we're going to move over to automatic writing. I'm just going to flick over to the screen share. Hang on a moment. So, all right, let's just go back into the slide. It started at the beginning, sorry. Head, heart, brain, we've done that. Automatic writing. So who can tell me what automatic writing is? Just for those of you that haven't done my Learn to Channel course. Okay, those of you that have, you can describe what automatic writing is.
It is where you can ask a simple question, something like, what does love want me to know today? What do my guides want me to know today? And then you just keep writing.
Yeah. So the idea here is we're bypassing the critical factor. We're bypassing that logic. We're bypassing the emotional, and we're going straight into love, which can be source, can be higher self, can be the spirit team that we work with, the guardians. We kind of look at it as a collective conscious, that we're tapping into a higher state in order to allow pure love to connect and communicate with us. And quite often the message that comes through when we automatic write will be surprising to us. It's not always what we would think or what we would say. So I find, that it's something we just haven't considered, tapping into automatic writing to help us make decisions, So let's get a different perspective on it again. So what I want you to do on the top of your piece of paper, I'm going to guide you into a meditation in just a moment. So make sure that you've got your pen and paper ready. Okay. I want you to write at the top of your paper, we're just going to use the general word love. Love can encompass all your guides, everyone, whoever love is, but it's a loving message. Okay. What does love want me to know about, and write down the decision you're making. Okay, so put your pen down when you've written out your decision. Just look up so I know you've all done that. Okay, so we're not going to worry about guided meditation or anything. We're just going to use the energy of the space that we're in right now. Okay, so this technique is going to help you to tap into your subconscious, where your true feelings, experiences, and knowledge reside, as well as that higher power. Like opening a direct line of communication to the big I am. Okay. All right. Take a nice big deep breath. Close your eyes for a moment. Just breathe in, just really opening your heart and allowing yourself to connect into that beautiful energy. You might like to invoke Reiki, or you might just want to visualize beautiful light surrounding you. And in a moment, before you open your eyes, quite often love will use terms of endearment. Don't worry if it starts out sounding quite logical. Just allow the energy to just flow. Allow the words to come naturally. Don't overthink it. Just write. And I want you to keep writing for a few minutes. Okay, don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about if it makes sense. You're just going to unfilter and just write whatever comes to mind and just allow it to flow onto the paper. So when you're ready, picking up your pens and just reading that statement in your mind. What does love want me to know about? Okay, how did you go? Need more time? Yeah, my guidance came in a big scribble. Do you guys write messy when you automatic write?
Yes.
It's like a scribble.
Definitely.
It's like a
I have
dog's
to
breakfast.
write so fast to keep up. All right. How did you feel that went, guys?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Anyone want to share what they got? You can either read or you can just talk about it, or
I can share if you like.
yeah, I'd love
Yes.
it.
I'll put it into context because it makes sense. So when I felt into my head with my decision, it was all pros.
Yeah.
I came up with, three pros, one con. So it was a yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So my heart and my gut were like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So it was
Yes,
both.
but
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
do, but I don't. I do, but I don't. So what I got was no matter what you decide, it will never be the wrong decision. You're fully supported, loved, and guided all the way. Feel into your decision. This is how you will find your answer. It does not matter what the outcome will be of your decision, as it will always be right for you at that present moment. So go for it. Start feeling.
Love it. I
So,
love it.
okay. So I
That's
think
pretty
that's
clear.
how I'm going to make my decision, is actually feeling it, because I already know that the head is yes, yes, yes. So I have to work on that, feeling it, actually feeling what that decision would be like if.
And so maybe that's where you could do a little inner future projection. So, and it might be as well helpful to do a hypnotherapy session or to have someone help facilitate it if you just find it hard to do so. And especially if it's a big life decision, you can also get support, especially when you've taken time to weigh it. And I know you have, when you're making decisions, that you kind of have thought it through and given yourself that time to process it, then it can be helpful as a suggestion. You don't have to, or just lay there with that intent of going, okay, show me 2 years into the future, show me 6 months into the future, show me before I finish, after, during, and then look at 5 years down the track with this behind me. Like, how will I feel? What will I know? How can I help serve? What kind of change will this be? And it's kind of like that, the sliding doors movie. It's probably worth revisiting that, isn't it? It's one decision takes you down a whole different path. And yeah, we can kind of test it out because we always have an idea of what the decision is. We know enough about it to kind of fantasize into, well, we can project into an ideal of what we think our life would be like with this. And sometimes I think that helps us to navigate through some of the hiccups we might get when we have to make a change, because there's always friction, right? With growth and expansion. And I know when I was doing a lot of my growing in the business, it was always lean into the discomfort, because discomfort is where where the growth happens. So we sometimes need to be prepared to be a little uncomfortable. Yeah.
So even when you was just saying that, show me what it's going to be like after the decision, show me what it's going to be like 2 years, 5 years, I was actually feeling really good. That felt really, really good. So I started feeling it.
Awesome. We'll see. And it's lie in bed tonight and just take yourself there. It's just something, if we don't think to do it, we just don't. It's just knowing that there's these, all these different techniques and tools that we can use to help get clarity and to help really trust our decisions, which I think is really helpful. Yeah. Thank you. Great. And isn't it amazing how wise our love, that loving perspective is, and how clear and decisive. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyone else want to share their automatic writing?
I can, if no one else wants to. My decision was about, we've had the opportunity with the kids to do some trips with their ballet, and they're amazing opportunities, and to pay for it, we were thinking, well, should we get some more out on our home loan? And it's a bit of a scary decision in some ways because it's more repayments.
Yeah.
But with the last exercise, I mostly got yeses. Heart was a bit neutral, a little bit of fear, but could see the benefits. My gut was go for it.
Yeah.
That's very
Wow.
decisive.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then my angels were, or my guides were, we want you to know that all is well and that you can do this and it will all be, I can't even read my writing. It'll be an experience for you. So I think basically what my guides are saying, it's going to be an amazing experience. To summarize it up, it'll be an amazing experience. You'll all grow through this. Haven't we always made sure you've had enough? Like, and it's true, like we've always, even though it's not like we've always had enough, we've always gotten by. So even when things seem a bit scary, it's okay. We somehow manage and we get through it. And I think the experiences and the benefits are worth it. So basically, that's basically what I got was you're loved. It will be amazing. Have a bit of, just lean into the faith sort of thing, which is what I tend to do anyway. So it's beautiful just to receive a bit of a reminder that all is well and to go for the experience.
It's nice to know when you're making a decision like that you have given it time and thought. Like it's not just a knee-jerk reaction or not just an impulse decision. And that's what I think this avoids, us making those quick impulse decisions that sometimes we regret later. It's, those things that we're like, for instance, buying that chocolate bar off the shelf as you're walking through the checkout. Like they're designed purely to act on our impulse. And because it's like in that moment, we don't think it through, we just buy, right? I want it, I'm having it, that kind of a thing. So it sounds to me like, Suzanne, in this decision, you've weighed it up. It's not something you've just gone, oh, we have to, everyone's going, we have to. Like, it sounds to me like you've given it a lot of thought, weighed up, a lot of different things and gone, yeah, we're prepared to make some sacrifice here in order to gain what we're going to gain, with the benefit of the family and the traveling together. And it sounds like a great, wonderful opportunity. And these opportunities don't always come around, so it's those things that also factor in, isn't it? There's a timely thing here. It's not like, oh, we could do it next year or we could do it later.
No.
And I think it sounds to me like there would, and even you can future project, how would you feel if you didn't do it? Would there be a feeling of, how would your daughter feel? How would you feel? Like, would there be
missed opportunity? It's one of them is like, it's such a rare opportunity that she got this thing that there's no way. So it's
a no-brainer, right? So even just putting that test to it, you just simply know it's the right choice. Is it scary? Again, like I said to Fiona, yes, but all great things in life do have their risks and their challenges, and if we can just lean into it with time, the unknown becomes known. And the discomfort becomes comfort, right? Look at everything we've experienced, and you just have to look over your past to recognize that, that anxiety or that stress of the newness, dissolves into comfort in no time. So it doesn't take long for us to adapt and adjust. We're pretty smart beings. That's so cool. Does anyone else want to share what they got? Well, Nicola?
No, I was going to say, I've also, you know about my decision about leaving work and working from home and stuff like that. Yeah. And my gut, I know I want to do it, and I have all the things that say do it and do it and do it, but it's logic always seems to be sort of, winning over that, just that little bit.
Yep.
And then, but it's funny, I've scribbled this whole lot down here, and it's basically in a nutshell. So stop procrastinating and get your arms into gear and make it happen. And it's so true. When I've reread this now, and it's funny how everybody's in the decision making, how we've all come up with such similar. The whole thread of everything is so similar. And it's amazing how all of us have sort of come to the same sort of conclusions.
I think we all have different things, that come to us at different times as well, and sometimes it could be, okay, so, don't forget we can lean in and ask for support when we need it. I certainly did when I was growing my business. There was a whole lot of business stuff I didn't know. So I hired a coach, and that helped me to, to fill in the gaps of my knowledge in order to help, kind of lean into more success. So there's always opportunities and choices that can help support decisions, so we don't have to go it alone. We are, or even just leaning on each other in this community. There's amazing support. And I know half the coaching was about someone's pat on the back and saying, go for it. And my friends, when I've leaned into friends, sometimes we just need that encouragement, and someone believing in us and believing that we can do it makes such a big difference, because we do wobble, right? And that's why one thing I will say to you is choose your wizards wisely. So when you're making a decision, make sure that you tell people that will back you up and support you, rather than the naysayers that, are chronically negative. They'll just drag you down and make you second guess yourself. So we all have people like that in our lives. Yeah. So protect yourself. It's a bit like Brené Brown says, if you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked, with blood, sweat, and tears of running a business, for instance, as an example, or, public speaking, unless you're doing what I'm doing, you don't get a say. So it's that kind of, it's that call against the armchair experts that have never done what you're doing. So therefore, how do they know? And so that's really helpful in terms of, critics, right? Because there's plenty of them, and plenty of armchair experts out there. So choose your wizards wisely if you need further information to make a decision. And also, in terms of mortgages, and do your due diligence, guys. Don't just rely on intuition. Get good advice. And this is why we don't just follow the heart. We use our brain and logic and go to experts and get expert advice. There's people out there that know the market and that know things that we don't. It's why I have an accountant, right, to help me work out all the blah 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 of business, because I don't want to. So don't forget to call in experts, when needed to make these big life decisions. All right, so what's next? Let's go back to my PowerPoint. There it is. I worked hard on this today. I wanted to make sure I used it. Do you like it, guys? Do you like my little pictures? Yes. Good. All right, higher self. Let's see what a higher self is. It may be just a different variation of what we've just channeled, because we're all channels in here, or most of us are. But pose a question, and this time, instead of write down, let's just listen for the response. Let's have a conversation with our guides. Let's visualize connecting with them in the beautiful space that I'm going to create for you. And if you've already got enough in regards to your decision, let's just use this to receive healing energy from your guides. Okay, so I promise you that, Nicola, that this tonight would be about receiving. And I know Fiona and everyone's been working super hard. So let's take a moment now. I'm just going to turn this bright light off so I can relax as well. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's stop share. Whoops. All right, so I'm going to get some essential oils, because they're yummy. I'm going with frankincense because it was right in front of me. So if you want to grab some, don't worry, you don't have to. If you're comfortable, just grab a crystal or a blanket to put it over your legs, whatever you need to do to make yourself nice and comfortable. And just when you're ready, you can put on music in the background. Just mute yourself if you do. All right. Just taking a nice, big, deep breath in. And relax. And just really begin that process of connecting, going into that beautiful place of healing, and just connecting to one another in this group. Just feeling that bond and that connection with Fiona. And just sending a wave of light over to her way. You might even like to visualize us all just standing in a beautiful garden and just beginning by giving Fiona a great big warm nurturing hug and seeing that little love, joy, beautiful soul light up. And then just focusing on giving Nicola a big energetic hug. And then same with Suzanne. Just energetically wrapping your arms around her body and giving her a great big hug. And same to Karen. Just giving her a great big nurturing hug. And the same with Renee. Just energetically sending her light and giving her a big hug. And now to Myra. Just embracing that beautiful soul. And then you find me. Give me a nice big hug as well. I love big hugs. We can just imagine us all standing in this beautiful circle in a different dimension, just building the energy naturally between all of us. Gorgeous women all coming together just purely to uplift one another, to learn, to grow, to evolve, to share, to connect. And not only are we here, our beautiful humans with our beautiful minds, our gorgeous hearts, our very switched on instincts and intuition. Just imagine a beautiful bubble of light just starting to move around the group. You notice that as you look around at everyone, you see this warm, nurturing light just hovering above everyone's heads. And this light represents your higher self, and it's filled with love and wisdom and guidance, and we don't see ours, we just see the light on everyone else's heads. And it makes us smile as we see their higher self, and we know if they all have one, I have one too. And I want you to get ready to embrace this beautiful light on the count of 3. 1, getting ready to feel it. 2, and 3, just breathing in and imagining this beautiful light gently descending and entering into your body and just filling your entire body with energy. Just feel this light moving down through your head, your heart, and your gut, and aligning and harmonizing all parts of you. Just take a moment now to bask in this warm, loving energy. And you might like to visualize walking down the garden and asking your guidance to come through. Whether you hear the thoughts pop into your head or whether you can see your guides or just have a knowing that they're there. Ask and it is given. So just by simply intending, help me make this decision. Please share with me anything you want me to know. And just allow yourself to just receive. Just listen quietly for any thoughts, feelings, or images that arise, and trust whatever comes to you. All right. You know you can return back to this place at any time. So just take a moment to ask if there's anything else your guide wants you to know about this choice or about the decision. When you're ready, in your own time, there is no need to rush. Just simply come back into the room, and while you're waiting, you can jot down notes and just bask in this experience in exchange for as long as you need to. All right. Just jotting down any notes. Okay, so does anyone want to share what came through when they connected with their guides? How'd you go,
Ethan.
Myra?
Does Myra want to? I'll go after Myra.
Yeah, awesome.
Not going to fight you for it. I got quite a download when I did the automatic writing, but it's stepping into knowing rather than logicking things out. The power of knowing, not thinking, and even deeper than feeling. And there's been a few times in my spiritual journey where I haven't had, like, I mean, I see and I hear things and I feel things, but when I just know without shadow of a doubt, and they're sort of asking me to embrace that power again because I'm in my head all the time.
Yeah, I can relate. Well, that's amazing and beautiful confidence that you're getting from your guides as well.
Yeah.
They'll be there. Your channeling is amazing. You know, just imagine how effortless it's going to happen when you're just one-on-one with clients. You know, it just is so, you know, I remember when I was learning channeling, and I know I think you've heard the video interview I did. We got to a point where it was like, God, it's selfish just holding this just with us. Like, and it's almost, there's people out there that need you to be able to express in the way that only you can. And it's so amazing, like sitting in Learn to Channel and listening to the brotherhood come through and bring messages. It's just so inspiring, Myra. And you will, you'll have so much fun exploring that opportunity. And you know, we're chosen, like it's such a privilege. We're chosen when we can drop into channel in the way that you and I can. It is such a gift, and it can be done on the side. It doesn't have to be a full-time expression. It can be, you know, they'll help us find opportunity that resonates with all the different aspects of our life. And that's the one thing that I've come to know, is it doesn't have to be all consuming or take over. Like it can blend with other work and other things in our life. Like that's what they're here for, us first and foremost. But it'll evolve in a way that will feel natural for you. And I think that's
Well, and
Nice.
that's been another big message over the last few years, is that I've tried to be a coach that I think people want, not the really very powerful coach that I am when I'm in my power.
You just nailed it, babe. Woo!
I'm a very slow learner. It's taken me a few years.
Oh, do you know what we all are though? We're our own worst enemies. You know, and it's a growth journey.
Yeah.
You know, developing confidence takes time, and especially with this work. And I think it's important that we revere it, but also know that it's not easy, Myra. It's not. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it, and there's not many, you know. So it's hard to learn, it's hard to do, and when it takes time to nurture and foster that relationship, like it's not something that can just be fast tracked. You've got it, and you're ready, and the apprenticeship's over, babe. Like, it is now time to just get out there and share your message, and do it in a safe way. Just share it in a small community, create your own little groups. Like, you'll find ways to do it slowly that will build your confidence too, as you start to stretch out there.
Yes, but
I
I've
believe
got
in
to
you. You
do
got
it in my way. I said I've spent tens of thousands of dollars being told to hustle, and I'm not a hustler.
No, you're not. No.
And it's taken me a lot of money and a lot of time, and sit back and go, I know I can coach, I know I can get results, but I have to find the clients and do the marketing in a way that is authentic for me. And the brotherhood will help me with that.
The brotherhood and word of mouth. So
Yes.
that will start to trigger a flow on effect. Yeah. I can totally relate to what you're saying, because the hustle, and we do get told, do this, do that, do this, do that, and there's this whole system. Like you, I've spent way too much money in it, but all of it's learning. Nothing's wasted. You know, it's just it's all until we're ready. We're not ready, right? It happens when it's supposed to. The timing's right.
The download I got probably about 18 months ago was, when I was beating myself up for not doing this and not doing that, and they said, well, no one sits there with the bud of a rose and forces the petals apart. It's
true. It's beautiful.
You open up as you open.
Every successful expert out there has a whole bunch of trials and errors behind them. Like, none of them just popped out as the great sensations that they are. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't always see, right? Especially in this world of social media and fake book.
Yes. But I need to listen to me and not the shouty voices.
And your community, like your tribe, us, like, we'll reflect back to you how amazing you are. And that's helpful, I think. Again, that choose your wizards wisely, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
No problem. Thank you.
Fiona, how did you go?
Have we got time? It's getting late.
We have. Okay. I want to hear from you. Yeah, we got 3 minutes left.
I'll be quick. It was a really interesting experience, actually. So first of all, my guide said to me that I don't need to be reminded about their presence, because I do know that they're there, and I know that I can just ask them for help whenever. But what he showed me was another dimension. So I had half of me in another dimension and half of me in this dimension, and I felt like I was being pulled. And he was showing me the significance of that he was showing me for was that I can move into and create the reality that I want anytime. So it was a really interesting, it was a physical experience, because I could feel half of me in one dimension, and the other half of me in the other, and it's like, it's your choice. You can.
That's so cool.
It was really cool. I've never had that before, so that's really interesting. So he just showed me I can move into the reality that I want, and I can create it just like that. So that was exciting. Really awesome. Exciting.
We have skills that others don't, right? You know, like we've developed these, and exactly what I was saying to Myra is the same for you, Fiona, like, and all of us that have been on this spiritual, you know, awakening, and, you know, we've raised our vibration, we've done the work, we've healed ourselves and are still healing ourselves. It is, we forget sometimes to look back at the track record of where we've been and fully, you know, appreciate what we've come through and what we've learned and how we've all grown and evolved. And I think, yeah, what's ahead of us all is very exciting. And it's so, I love this group. I love coming together. I love the inspiration that comes from spirit, and also, you know, there's the plan and what I create on paper before, but there's something magic that happens when we all share, everyone contributes. It just makes this so much richer than anything I could have come up on my own with. And I love this connection within the combined energy. And I could certainly feel it when we were doing that guided meditation and we're all just giving those heart hugs that we were all craving, right? Just, could you guys feel that energetically? Just this big mushy hug.
Yeah, definitely. I could feel it. It was like
Yeah.
almost like a rush. It was beautiful.
It was. So the only other thing that I had to mention is Learn to Channel, which is coming up. I know, Renee, you've done it. Myra, you're in it now. Suzanne, you've done it. Fiona, you've done it. Nicola, you're the only one that hasn't. And I don't think, Karen, we haven't done Learn to Channel yet, have we?
No.
So if you guys would like more information, hang around at the end. I won't make the others sit through it. So if you do want info about the Learn to Channel course, it's open for registration now. It starts on the 18th of August. But if you've got questions about it, hang around, and I'm happy to chat with you about it. If not, I will see you all at the channeling event, which is on the 16th, I believe. Let me double check. So bring your questions. We'll do a channeling. So yes, 16th is a live channeling session, and then we have the week after the in-person channeling session. So it's always different based on you and the questions that you arrive with. So and obviously the Perth in-person one is an open event. So bring friends if you're coming, invite them, send the link, send the group. I haven't created it actually, so that I better get onto, but actually create the tickets and the event. I'll put it
Where
on
will it be, Lisa? Sorry.
The in-person channeling event is on the Tuesday, the 23rd of July, and that's at
whereabouts?
Sorry.
Whereabouts?
Cannington. So Canning
Oh,
River Eco Education Centre in Perth. You're in Perth, aren't you, Karen?
Yeah, I don't venture over that way.
Oh, where are you? North of the river?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
Not good at driving in the night.
In the night, yeah. That's why the online's helpful. So at least you get the online experience the week before, if not the personal in-room one. All right. So did you guys want to hang around? We'll just take a few moments just to. Does anyone want to do the closing tonight? Little closing meditation. Myra, would you like to do it tonight?
Sure.
Make it up. There's no plan, just a quick way of just saying thanks and thanking our guides, and yeah, just a nice way to kind of close down
your heart.
Yep.
Make sure you're grounded. And I want to thank all the beings of light and all our guides that stood with us tonight, and the wisdom and the knowledge and the gifts they give us daily, if only we remember to ask. Walk in light, beautiful souls, walk in light.
Perfect. Namaste. Thank you, Myra.
Namaste.
Beautiful. All right, guys, have a great week and evening, and yeah, stay tuned if you want to stay online if you have any questions about the Learn to Channel course. All right, for the rest of you, I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa, and thanks everyone. It was gorgeous. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.